The 10 most dangerous prisons around the world. Imagine being trapped in a place where survival depends on your every move, where overcrowding breeds chaos, disease spreads faster than light, and violence is a daily currency. These aren't just prisons, they're nightmares made of concrete and steel. Today, we're counting down the 10 most dangerous prisons around the world, and trust me, by the time we reach the final one, you'll realize why some inmates would rather risk death than stay another day inside. Rikers Island, United States. Now we land in New York City, where Rikers Island Prison has long been a symbol of violence, corruption, and neglect. This massive complex has one of the highest rates of solitary confinement in America, with thousands of cells dedicated solely to isolating prisoners. But solitude isn't the only danger lurking behind its walls. Rikers is notorious for inmate violence, brutal gang rivalries, and recurring abuse scandals involving guards. Conditions are so harsh that lawsuits, media investigations, and human rights reports have regularly called for its closure, arguing the facility is beyond repair. The combination of overcrowding, brutality, poor infrastructure, and systemic despair makes Rikers a relentless pressure cooker, one that has boiled over time and time again, leaving behind a legacy of chaos that refuses to fade. Camp 22, North Korea. Few prisons are as secretive and feared as Camp 22 in North Korea. Technically labeled a re-education camp, it's more accurately described as a hidden concentration camp, concealed deep within remote valleys and mountains. Satellite images suggest it spans miles of heavily fenced-off wilderness, cut off from any form of outside contact. Estimates say as many as 50,000 prisoners are forced into grueling labor, including mining for coal, farming barren land, and working under conditions designed to break the body. Survivors who manage to escape describe 12-hour workdays, constant starvation, torture, and executions for even the smallest infractions. What makes Camp 22 especially terrifying is its invisibility to the outside world. There are no official records, no legal trials, and no possibility of appeal or release. Once you step into Camp 22, you don't just lose your freedom, you're erased from existence itself. San Quentin Prison. United States, California's San Quentin State Prison is perhaps the most famous and infamous prison in America, and for good reason. It houses death row, the section reserved for prisoners awaiting execution, where some of the nation's most dangerous criminals live under constant supervision. The atmosphere inside is one of relentless tension and fear. Inmates sentenced to die often have nothing left to lose, which leads to frequent violence, stabbings, and unpredictable outbursts. San Quentin also hosts thousands of general population inmates, many connected to powerful gangs that dominate life inside the walls. For decades, the prison has been plagued by riots, assaults, overcrowding, and harsh conditions, making it one of the most feared penitentiaries in the United States. To this day, it stands as a stark reminder of both justice and brutality coexisting in one place. Carandiru Penitentiary, Brazil. In São Paulo, Brazil, the now decommissioned Carandiru Penitentiary was once a living hell. At its peak, it held over 8,000 inmates, guarded by just 1,000 officers. Despite the 8-to-1 ratio, inmates effectively ran the prison with violence as their law. Diseases like tuberculosis and HIV spread unchecked, worsened by filthy conditions, food shortages, and widespread malnutrition. Brutality was constant, creating an environment where survival was the only priority. In 1992, a riot spiraled out of control, and military police stormed the prison. What followed was a massacre. 111 prisoners were killed in a single day, shocking the world. Carandiru became a global symbol of prison mismanagement, state violence, and human rights failure, cementing its place among the deadliest and most infamous facilities in modern history. USP Terre Haute, United States nicknamed Guantanamo North, the United States Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana is a maximum security facility designed for some of America's most dangerous criminals. Security protocols are among the strictest in the country, with inmates living under constant surveillance. Prisoners spend almost all of their time locked inside tiny reinforced cells, with only 3 brief releases a week, into steel mesh exercise cages barely large enough for movement. Designed to prevent escape or human contact, the prison environment is suffocatingly controlled and psychologically crushing. But beneath this rigid order lies a grim truth. Terre Haute is where federal executions take place. For many inmates, their final walk ends not in freedom, but at the death chamber itself. Cebu Prison, Philippines. Next, we travel to the Philippines, home to the Cebu Provincial Detention and Rehabilitation Center, better known worldwide for its dancing inmates. Videos of mass choreographed routines went viral years ago, giving the prison an oddly lighthearted reputation to outsiders. But behind the spectacle lies a much darker reality. Cebu is one of the most overcrowded prisons in Asia, with thousands of inmates crammed into limited space, leaving little room even to sleep. Overpopulation breeds filth, malnutrition, and rampant outbreaks of contagious diseases that spread like wildfire. Entertainment may amuse the outside world, but for those trapped inside, everyday life is about survival, endurance, and resisting the constant threat of illness or violence. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, perhaps the most infamous prison on Earth. Guantanamo Bay Detention Camp sits on the southeastern tip of Cuba. Isolated and heavily guarded, it has become synonymous with secrecy, fear, and international controversy. Although it holds fewer than 50 prisoners today, its reputation far outweighs its size. Guantanamo is notorious for harsh interrogation techniques, including waterboarding, sleep deprivation, and sensory manipulation, methods condemned worldwide as torture. Inmates here are considered among the most dangerous, many accused of terrorism. Yet years of indefinite detention without trial, combined with allegations of abuse, have made Guantanamo a lasting symbol of human rights violations and political debate, sparking protests and global criticism for decades. Antanimora Prison, Madagascar. Over in Madagascar lies Antanimora Prison, a crumbling facility originally built for just 800 inmates. Today, it holds over 4,000 prisoners, 5 times its intended capacity, making conditions unbearable. Inmates receive only one meager meal a day, boiled cassava. Malnutrition is rampant, affecting over 60% of the population, while starvation and untreated disease claim countless lives every year. Hygiene is almost non-existent, with prisoners forced to live in cramped, filthy quarters. With little oversight, no medical support, and almost no government intervention, Antanimora functions less as a correctional facility and more as a slow death sentence, where inmates waste away with little chance of survival. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. Few places on Earth are as horrifying as Gitarama Prison in Rwanda. Designed for 600 inmates, it now holds over 6,000. The overcrowding is so extreme that prisoners can't even sit or lie down. Many are forced to stand for weeks or months, their feet rotting from gangrene and infections that spread rapidly in the filthy, airless conditions. Food is scarce, medical care almost non-existent, and survival often depends on sheer luck. Desperation pushes some to the unthinkable: murder and cannibalism. It's a nightmare so severe that former guards and survivors alike describe it as hell on earth, a place where humanity is stripped away completely. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. Finally, we arrive at the deadliest prison on our list: Black Dolphin Prison in Russia. Reserved for the nation's worst criminals, murderers, rapists, terrorists, and cannibals. This facility is designed to break both body and mind. Every inmate here is serving life without parole. On average, each prisoner has killed at least 5 people. Inmates are confined to tiny steel cages for 23 hours a day. The 1 hour they're allowed outside isn't real freedom. It's simply being transferred to a slightly larger cage to pace in circles. Guards blindfold prisoners when moving them through hallways, ensuring they never memorize the layout or plan an escape. Black Dolphin is more than a prison. It's a tomb for the living, a place where hope goes to die. From Russia's frozen islands to Rwanda's overcrowded cells, these prisons reveal a side of humanity that is almost too dark to believe. Some are infamous for violence, others for disease, and some for psychological torment. But all of them share one thing in common. They push the limits of human survival. So, which prison on this list shocked you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more eye-opening stories like this.